I didn't even get a sense in talking to I didn't even get a sense that the trade of Roy Robertson Harris like shook them up a little bit. You know what I mean? From in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even get a sense of that, which I was a little bit surprised by. But I
surprised by the trade or surprised they didn't shake him up?
Yes. Both, to be honest with you.
Shake them up in what regard? Like, none of us is safe kind of thing?
Yeah, something like that. Or like, whoa, what are they thinking? I mean.
Was he an issue? I mean, other than just like, was he dissatisfied? Was he not happy with his playing time or his role or any of that?
Not anything I had heard and liked in the locker room. I mean, not a problem in the locker room. So,
Seattle is trading for a lot of players.
They really are.
He was the team captain last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the locker room felt about him last year. So
no, I understand, but I mean, I'm just trying to, it's just
trying to figure out why,
right? Like why at that time, and they said it was an opportunity came up, and
right.
they are playing like 85 defensive tackles here with no seeming rhyme or reason from one week.
Of them, though.
Well, no, he's not, and we'll get to that in a second. But I mean, we see like Jeremiah Ledbetter starts, then he's not at, like it changes every week as to who they have any kind of trust in. Osezi started a week ago, then was inactive this week. I don't know. Maybe they just said, hey, we didn't like what we saw in the film that week. But since you mentioned Mason Smith, what do you think is causing Mason Smith to not be active on game day 100% of the time right now?
Yeah, well, it's funny. Yesterday we were waiting to get outside to get into the locker room, and they have what do you call it? Some photos out there on the wall, and they always, they praise the practice squad or look guys of the week, for the week before for helping out. It's, I mean, those guys that don't play a lot, they get a little bit of pub for their people,
So they're taking the practice squad guys who give the best simulation on the scout team.
It's not practice squad guys. It's the guys that have helped prepare the team the best the week before.
Okay.
So there have been guys on the active roster that have been on it before.
Help prepare them how?
Like in practice. Like they run the like for last week they would have run
the
so Patriots
running
offense.
The scout team, basically.
Yeah, essentially,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's what a thing that they do.
Right. And
don't know where this is going, Tony. I'm very excited to find out though.
Mason Smith was one of those guys. And so I mean he's that would seem to indicate that he's at least giving you some sort of effort in practice.
But also, if you're
just
playing scout team, isn't that an indication that you're kind of buried on the depth chart?
Kind of inconsistent in what they're getting out of him. And they're not 100% sure what it is every week.
So is it just him acclimating to the NFL? Is it him learning to be a pro? Is it, does he have any conditioning issues that you're aware of? Are they satisfied with his weight and things like that?
Yes, they're fine with that. Yeah, no.
I'm just curious. I'm asking.
Some guys, it takes a while longer to get into better shape, or to get adjusted to the NFL. Some guys, it doesn't take as long, and they're ready to go right away. That's a position that with the problem that they've had interiorly. Okay, they are not good on the interior defensive line. So what you need is a guy that can at least be consistent effort-wise and position and being where he's supposed to be and giving you 100% every single rep. And,
so that suggests he wasn't doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, not to a degree where it's like awful.
But a degree awful enough to not be active on game day as a second-round pick.
Yeah. I mean, that's not good, but you hope if you're the Jaguars want to send the message, and if you're the Jags, you hope that, okay, inactive again, bud. This is the second time this year you've been inactive. Let's pick it up. Because quite honestly, he's as talented as anybody on that defensive line. I mean, he athletically, size, speed. I mean, he is really, really talented. And they feel like if you go back and you look at his freshman tape at LSU, he was just dominating. And they haven't seen that at a consistent enough level to get him on the field at a position where they're not playing well.
Right.
Is it concerning? A little bit. But does it mean like he was a bust? No, not yet.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not suggesting that. But, for a lot of people, like, hey, what are we doing here? Like, and I even asked the question because the optics of it are Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke kind of butting heads here. And Trent Baalke, many felt Roy Robertson-Harris is traded to clear the way for more playing time for the guys I just drafted. Now go play those guys. And then Doug Peterson's like, we won't. Not this week anyway. I mean, I don't know. That's the optics of it.
Without question. And that's going to be the optics of it the rest of this season, no matter what happens. Look, it's never a good sign overall when your second-round pick gives you nothing, unless it's, you're a situation where, you took a guy in the second round as a quarterback and he's not expected to play as a
all right, or you're loaded at the position,
right.
but you think contract-wise
right.
by next year.
And you just can't pass up that guy's too good of a value, and we can't pass up him in the second round, but even though we're loaded at, say, wide receiver or whatever the heck it is, but it's just not been good enough. That's the bottom line. Not been good enough. On a team that needs players to emerge, and he's just not been good enough.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.